Austin, the early start, the first game off the road trip, of course. What impressed you most, stood out to you most about this win?
I just think, the winning plays that everybody, contribute to make. Obviously, Brown and AD and D'Lo were playing at a super high level, but everybody around that kind of just fit in to figure out, what, they could do to help our team. And that's what it takes at this point of the year. It takes everybody bought into one common goal, and that's winning.
How contagious are things right now offensively for you guys?
Oh, great. Anytime you see the ball going through the net, you feel good. Like I said, Peasy had an amazing game tonight, shooting the ball really well. But yeah, once, we do that, it gives Brown and AD more space to do what they do.
Austin, you guys have been a top 3 offense now for about 3 months, and before that point, you guys were a bottom 10 offense. So the shift kind of happened early January. Do you remember a turning point? Be it you guys had some big scoring games around that point. But do you remember a game or a conversation or a film session where you feel like things kind of shifted offensively?
No, to be honest, 3 months feels like 6 years ago. You remember. You kind of feel and remember when things were kind of changing offensively, and we were just getting into a better rhythm. And I think it was just more so us getting used to playing with one another. And like I said, common goal is to win, and that's what everybody in this locker room wants to do. So when that's the common goal, it don't matter if Brown scores 20, AD scores 20, Peasy scores 20. It's really just about winning.
Darvin mentioned that the perimeter defense has been just better as of late. I know it's only been a few games, but how much has Gabe helped in that area since he's returned?
Oh, a lot. You know exactly what you're going to get from Gabe. Every single game, he's going to go out there and compete, at the highest level on that end. And, that's what, we need from him. And once, he gets, a feel for the game again, he hasn't played in so long. Once he gets a feel for the game, shots going to start falling and stuff like that. So Gabe's a big part of, what we're trying to do. And especially defensively because he's so active and plays so hard.
A lot of times it's about making a run in this league, getting hot at the right time. You guys are doing that. AD just said that by now everyone knows each other's games. He knows D'Lo's going to shoot that wild 3, Braun's going to ISO. What is the comfort level as you get into this ramp-up period before the postseason?
Comfortable. I think we're in a really good spot. And, like you said, it's all about, playing your best basketball at the right time. You can go back to last year, and we're in kind of this similar spot, and won that first play-in game, and then make a run to the Western Conference Finals. And but like I said, it's all about peaking at the right time and playing unselfish basketball and caring about one another. And you're, like I said, really just wanting to win. And like I said, at the end of the day, if your team is bought into winning, you'll do whatever it takes to win.
AD, the early start, the first game back off the road trip. What impressed you most? Which side of the basketball, offense, defense, from you guys today?
Defense. We were able to come out and hold that team to under 100. They got a lot of firepower offensively. So, and the first game back off a long road trip is usually the toughest, and it's an early game. So we want to make sure that we have extra energy, especially on the defensive end. And we did that tonight. Today, and that kind of led to our offense, especially in the third quarter when we couldn't score. I think they played 11-2 to start the third, and we just kept getting stops, and I was able to break it back open middle of the third. So, even when our offense isn't clicking, we got to be able to rely on our defense, and we did a great job today.
I know you're still without such a big piece of your defense, but how close do you think you guys are to where you want to be?
Defensively, we're really close. We're covering for each other. We're talking. Like you said, obviously we're missing Vando. I'm not sure when his return is, but we got guys who AR is taking on a lot of big matchups. We're confident in his defense. Really, Low, myself, but everybody, we all stepping up defensively just to cover up for the big piece that we are missing. But I think we're on a string right now defensively.
You guys still more work to do in terms of where you could get and where you want to get. At some point over this streak of winning 9 out of 10, do you think you guys have convinced each other at all? Anything that, in terms of like, what you were put together for, and maybe what could be ahead?
Yeah, we're very confident in our ball club. We laugh about like, winning 9 out of 10, 10 out of like whatever, and we haven't won anywhere. Like we still nice. So it's like, it's how good the West is, right? So, but we're confident, very confident in our ball club, and every time we step on the floor, I think the biggest difference is that we're just having fun. Like we're holding each other accountable. Somebody mess up, we're yelling, screaming at them, but nobody's taking it personal because we all know what we're here for, to try to win. So we're having fun. We're having a great time out there playing basketball, and we're staying together.
Eddie, you mentioned that you guys you hadn't been moving really, despite the winning. Yesterday, Boston wins at the buzzer, basically. New Orleans loses to San Antonio. Was there any acknowledgement of the opportunity to actually gain ground? Was that spoken, or do you think guys just kind of know at this time of year?
No, it was no acknowledgement. I think for us it's just continue to focus on one game at a time and continue to try to win games and let the rest take care of itself. We know the position that we're in, the opportunity that we have. Obviously today was a big opportunity, to move up to A, which we did. But I think what's understood, doesn't have to be explained. And we all know the position that we're in, and what we can do with four games left. Mm-hmm. 4 games left. So just keep stacking, keep focusing on one game at a time, and continue to do what we're doing, especially on the defensive end.
AD, you mentioned in that third quarter you guys got stop after stop late. You also had a 17-0 run. You had 11 points in that quarter. What was clicking on the other side of the ball offensively?
Sharing the basketball, playing together. We're getting stops and we're getting out and run. And when we're playing fast, guys get into their spots, get into the corners, get into the wings, and we're setting screens, creating advantages, then the floor is open for us to make shots, drive, get to the basket, and now the defense had to collapse and we're spreading out for kick-out three. So, obviously it started with with Lowe with his incredible shooting and spacing the floor. Even though we started off slow with a bunch of turnovers, the defense helped to keep our offense in rhythm, and we were able to kind of break that lead open.
Hey, do you feel like there was a turning point for you guys offensively in early January? Like since that point, you guys have been a top 3 offense. Before then, you guys were a bottom 10 offense. Do you kind of remember, was there a game or kind of a conversation or practice, something that kind of led to that?
Actually, I don't. I think the biggest thing, and I said it before, I think we're just having fun. I think we were too uptight, early on. Everybody trying to do the right thing, make the right play, and you kind of start second guessing yourself because you're trying to do the right thing. Now we're just playing freely. Like we know that Lowe is going to shoot his crazy threes, and he makes them, right? Braun getting into his ice, so we know AR going. Like we know each other's game at this point, and no one is complaining or forming little huddles like, what are we doing? So I think for the most part we're just playing together, playing freely. We're not hesitant at all. Guys are, if you open, shoot the ball. We get on guys for not shooting the basketball. So I think when we instill that amount of confidence in each other, offense can click.
AD, Darvin was alluding to this a little bit, but some of the perimeter defense maybe a little bit better of late, and that allows you to not have to just make up for other things and also try to do your job. Have you noticed that evolve so that you're not cleaning everything up, but you can kind of be more special in certain spots when not having to clean up? Yeah,
it keeps me around the rim, on the bigs, where now our guards aren't trying to box out bigs where the other team's big have advantage. So when our guards are guarding how they are on the perimeter, keeping the ball in front, making guys take tough twos or tough shots, it's easy for me to stay connected, and I don't have to help as much. And now, myself, Rui, Braun, we can go get the rebound and get out and run. So the times it's tough when you get beaten, and now I have to step up and they throwing a lob or dumping it off and we're not reacting fast enough, or we're just too small because our guards are small. So anytime we're able to guard, have we been guarding, then it helps our defense.
Thanks, AD.
Taurean, first, just from a team standpoint, how were you guys able to come off of a really good road trip like that, stay sharp, and kind of resist that urge? Sometimes it can be tough to play that first game and resist that natural easing up a little bit. How did you come out like that?
Man, I think to answer that in totality, I think just the focus of everybody, top to bottom, is at an all-time high right now. The camaraderie is at an all-time high right now, so it's all just falling together in the right time, and it's just about doing your job consistently at this point.
Coming in off the bench, I think you hit your first 7 shots before that, but finally missing that one in transition. Where were you able to get your rhythm like that within the flow of the offense?
For me, it's not. I mean, it's about rhythm. I get my rhythm more so in practice days, getting in the court, getting in the gym before and after games. But it's just a mindset thing. Just coming in, knowing what I got to do, and knowing my job, and that's to fly around defensively and hit shots. It's that simple. So just trying to make myself available, make my preparation as good as it can be, so the chances of that are as high as they can be.
TP, you mentioned the camaraderie being at an all-time high. We were just talking to AD, and he kind of talked about like the ease that you have as a group, where you can get on someone and you know, yell at them for accountability reasons, but then there's no carryover effect, and you can fall back into appreciating one another. Was there some time, was it during this streak that you guys found that? Can you pinpoint a time in this season where, I don't know, I mean, it sounds kind of like too simple, but AD said you're all having fun with one another again.
Yeah. There's a lot of new faces on the team, right, to begin the season. So you got to think about it, guys that are traded often or guys that just now getting traded. Even for the 2 big guys we have in Bron and AD, we're human, and it takes time to trust people. It takes time to get to know people. And I think, obviously, with 5-6 months under our belt, it's just gotten a lot easier to be able to do that. And obviously that comes with spending time with each other, figuring out things about each other that have nothing to do with basketball. I think that allows you to get closer to guys and play hard for each other. And then, like you say, when those moments come where it is time to buckle down and talk about business and handle business, those conversations, no matter how hot they get, it's from a good place, and you know that. So it makes it easier for everybody to hold each other accountable.
Hey Tori, so you did a great job today playing the game early in the day. So can you share some like your routine? Is there any difference your routine changes from late night the game or in the game to do like performance in the game?
No, that's a good question. My routine hasn't changed probably for about 3-4 seasons now, since I was in Brooklyn. And my shooting coach now, Coach Jordan Knott, is he was the same, my shooting coach in Brooklyn. So I've kind of stuck with that and just stay consistent and just hope everything goes well. That's kind of the madness to my recipe.
The Cavaliers decided to go in a different direction, and you're in a good place. But it seemed, just from my perspective, that maybe you were taking out some of that on them today with a little bit extra focus on maybe their decision.
Man, I mean, obviously the teams that you feel like you could have helped and then they went a new direction, I don't blame them. But I always keep it in the back of my mind. Was I thinking about that today? No. But I think it's just a natural thing. When you see the colors you used to play in, it brings a little bit more focus and a little bit more edge to the game.
Taurean, when you were getting hot there from just overall the field, right? I think it was like 6 of the first 7 went in. What does it do for yourself and the team when everything's kind of flowing and you always bring it defensively and with all the other aspects, but when the shooting's going like that, what does it do for you and the team to kind of reach that maximum potential?
Man, I think when guys, not just myself, but when guys collectively are hitting like we were today, it obviously opens up things for AD to be able to post up, and it relieves that pressure from him. And if they do help, by that time we're warmed up, ready to spray from the outside. So having that dynamic, it opens up holes for driving lanes for Bron and the guards, and I think it just makes us tough in general to guard when we're hitting from all cylinders.
Thanks, Taurean.
Thank y'all.
Hey, Darvin, 97 points for Cleveland. AD has the 6 blocks and the 3 steals. We know how central he is to everything, but can you speak to that? And then what else was there alongside him defensively today?
The things we've been talking about, being better on the ball, guys just not dependent on AD to clean up everything and allowing themselves to be blown by and whatnot. just being great on the ball, man. We had some great guys, some great performances defensively from several guys. You know, D'Lo, first half, just moving his feet, staying in front. Austin, you know, he draws a really tough matchup every game, being in that starting lineup. Gabe coming off the bench, Spencer off the bench, Taurean, everybody, Rui. That's a central focus was for us yesterday, just talking about being great on the ball, handling small pick and rolls better, more communicative in our normal pick and roll coverage with a small and a big. And that was it. And that just enables A to go out and be the great defender that he is, great player at the rim, out on the perimeter, covering up for everything. His activity, just forcing people to change shots and forcing people into turnovers, as well as his blocks and steals. So just that's where we got to hang our hat, our identity, you know, going forward, just the way we defend. Once we defend, we get stops, hold teams to one shot. What we do offensively is just through the roof. Like it's hard to contain us, and the defense helps the offense. When you're able to force live ball turnovers, hold teams to bad shots, long misses, it ignites your break and allows you to get into a good rhythm offensively.
Darvin, you guys just moved up to the 8th seed for the first time since December 29th, so it's over 3 months ago. Like, do you feel like this stretch that you guys have been on, like we talked about it in Washington, that you guys keep winning, yet you haven't moved up, like you're now starting to finally move up? Does it feel like everything's kind of coming together the way that you've been preaching the last couple months?
Yeah, man, it's just what we've been saying to ourselves every day, whether it's a game day, non-game day, just take care of us. Just take care of us. Just continuously look for ways to get better individually, collectively. Got to have that open dialogue. Just take care of us. That's the biggest thing. Everything else, take care of itself. We'll fall exactly in the spot where we're supposed to fall. But the key is for us to be playing at a high level on both sides of the ball. We saw that on the defensive end tonight. Got a little tricky in the third quarter, turning the ball over. But if we defend at that level and we take care of the ball, we're a pretty tough team to beat. And so we just need to continue to sustain that type of defense you saw tonight and improve on, you know, being more valuable with the ball, valuing possessions and making sure we get more field goal attempts and less turnovers.
Darvin, some really good runs in this game to start the second quarter. Late in that third quarter, you guys went 17-0 before Cleveland even got a bucket. Obviously, you mentioned getting stop after stop in that stretch. What was working so well on those runs?
Again, the activity, the shifts, AD at the rim, everybody out on the perimeter talking, whether we had to switch or we stayed at home with our own, navigating the small pick and rolls, big, small pick and rolls. Brian, Rui communicating with Max Strus, coming off walkaways and pen downs, switching those. I mean, just the communication, the activity, and just the individual pride to not be that guy that you know creates the hole in our defense. You can see it, all five guys out there in unison, covering for one another, talking to one another, and coming up with, you know, forcing them to only have one possession.
Darvin, your two best players, LeBron and AD, are terrific offensive threats at putting the ball in the basket. But when they are controlling the game in other ways, LeBron through his passing, AD through his rebounding and his steals and blocks, what does that unlock for you guys as a team when they're dominating in the non-scoring facets? Yeah, with those intangibles, they're really high level. What it unlocks is the rest of the roster, the rest of the rotation. Guys get to feel empowered. Guys get their chance to be aggressive. We saw Taurean off the bench tonight, D'Lo, AR, obviously Rui. Different guys get to step up and really contribute. And that's all they want. You know, those guys are not trying to make every play for themselves. They're trying to control all facets of the game, as you mentioned. But it empowers everyone that's playing with them. It empowers the coaching staff, everybody. When you got two guys like that, so multifaceted, so diverse in their skill set, that are so unselfish at the same time.
With some of the elements of today's game, like, you know, the potential for a letdown coming off a long trip, early start time, the Cavs having their own things they're playing for, when you guys start struggling in the third, was there a show of character, or like what kind of gave you the indication there that you weren't going to let go of the rope and that there was life left in your team there?
The way we continue to defend. I told them, you know, we can build a huge surplus in terms of the score if we just continue to defend and take care of the ball. Those are the two things. But our defense allowed that game to stay close once our offense flailing. the defense really, the guys stepped up defensively and made plays and was putting, they ended up with, we had 20 turnovers, 18 points. They ended up with 19 turnovers, 26 points. So just being able to stay locked in defensively gave us a chance to correct things offensively and then, again, move ahead along the scoreboard.
Now that you've been able to see Gabe for a few games and now, just how much, I guess when you watch him, do you say, we miss this guy, especially defensively at the point of attack? Just how much have you guys missed him during the time he was out?
Yeah, he was at the top of the list of the guys being great on the ball, man. Gabe's his quiet toughness, his quiet leadership, the pedigree he brings. Everyone saw what he was able to do with Miami last year, the impact he had on that club and how far they went all the way to the finals. We expect the same performance and even more out of him, but he's a guy that's not worried about how many shots he gets, how many touches. He wants to go in and make his mark felt on the defensive end, and I felt like he did that tonight.
Coach, when it comes to Taurean Prince, he's consistently had a role despite ups and downs in this team, and you've always mentioned the value he brings. What has he really unlocked for himself and for this team during this stretch, and especially the second half of the season so far?
A guy that's, ability to put the ball in the hole at all three levels. Guys encouraging him and motivating him to score, be aggressive. A lot of times he's trying to play so unselfish, he gets, unforced turnovers. And, guys constantly telling him, I know I tell him all the time to pass the ball to the rim. The rim is wide open for him. So it's just when he drives downhill, go for your layups. Sometimes like Coach Brown, Larry Brown used to say, just like a pass, you attack the rim hard, you miss, the big is right there to clean it up with offensive rebound. So the biggest thing for him is just to stay aggressive, be aggressive. He's a smart player. He's not going to force things, and he's going to take the right shots. But when he's open, I want him to be extremely aggressive. And we have an unselfish team, man. Guys just encouraging one another, motivating one another. Shout out to D'Lo also, a little sidebar. Like, times it was his moment in time to go back in down the stretch and said, "No, man, let Spencer rock out." So things like that's what your culture should be about. The competitiveness, togetherness, and accountability. And it's coming in the full form, and we totally love our chances, but more importantly, we love what we're building and how far we've come and what we're going to be able to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.